They say John Henry was born with a hammer in his hand. In the slow, smoky mornings after the Great War, when fields and towns mended and rail crews pushed iron through wild country, a boy learned to listen to metal. Young John Henry stood at his father's forge, feeling the pulse of the anvil beneath his feet, watching sparks leap like tiny suns. The clang and lullaby of hammer on steel taught him rhythm and patience, and the mountains took his small footsteps into their long, knowing quiet. The railroad was America's daring promise made visible, a ribbon of steel sewing valleys to peaks, strangers to neighbors. Crews carved tracks through the Appalachians, a human tide of calloused hands and steady breath. John Henry joined them, broad-shouldered and steady-eyed, and his sledgehammer found a work song that matched the land. Each strike sent sparks into the sunlit dust, each swing a conversation with the mountain. Men paused to watch. The rails seemed to hum under his feet, as if the whole world leaned closer to hear his rhythm. Then progress arrived on iron wheels. The company engineer brought a steam-powered drill, cold, metallic, whistling with pistons and belts like some mechanical dragon. It prowled the site, spitting steam and promises of speed. The men fell quiet, unsure whether to cheer or to weep. John Henry stepped forward, shoulders squared, voice simple and steady. "A machine may be strong," he said, eyes steady on chrome, "but it don't got a heartbeat." His words landed like a bell. The challenge was more than pride. It was a stand for the human song. He challenged the iron beast. Man versus metal. Heartbeat against hiss. The foreman raised a whistle and the contest began beneath a vault of carved stone and flickering lamps. John gripped twin hammers, the muscles along his arms working like water through rapids. Sweat beaded. Breaths matched the rhythm of his strokes. Beside him, the machine rattled and roared, pistons thumping a mechanical counterpoint. Every hammer strike rang through the tunnel like thunder, sparks and dust choreographing with the drum of gears. A fierce duet of flesh and forged steel. As the tunnel deepened, light narrowed to a thin ribbon, and steam turned the air into a moving cloud. John Henry drove harder, hands blistering, tendons singing, his heartbeat rising until it felt like a drum inside his ribs. Time thickened. Each impact stretched into a slow-motion bloom of flying grit and bending iron. Dust swirled like fireflies. Embers glowed against his skin, and a chant, low gospel-tinged, swelled in the mouths of the crowd. Hammer down, steel-driving man. The machine sped up, belts screaming, but John matched rhythm with sheer will. With one last colossal swing, John Henry smashed through the mountain's heart. Stone toppled and daylight flooded the tunnel, a wash of gold that made steam and sweat glitter like treasure. The workers erupted, voices breaking into whoops and tears that echoed off the rock. The machine, groaning and spent, coughed its last and fell silent. John gave a tired, proud smile, then faltered, the price of that victory heavy in his limbs. He sank to one knee, palm resting on his hammer's head, breathing in the hush that followed triumph. Long after steam cooled and smoke thinned, the story traveled down track and town alike. The finished railroad carried the first train through that tunnel, passengers throwing up their hands as they felt the sun again, singing the working songs John Henry loved. His hammer stayed lodged in stone, catching the sunset light and glowing faintly in memory. Folks passed the tale from porch to pulpit, a reminder that some strengths, the stubborn beating heart of a person, can't be replicated by pistons and iron.
With every strike, he felt freedom song. He hammered steel so proud and strong.